I'll be showing you my top 10 cydia tweaks of January 2013 as I do at the end of every single month, and I do my top 5 videos at the beginning of every single month. So you should probably click that subscribe button and stay tuned for all those videos so you don't miss any awesome cydia tweaks, as there are many, and I'm guessing there are going to be more to come. So, enough chit chat, let's get to the video itself. Looks a little different from yours, and why it's separated into 4 different sections. Well, that's our first cydia tweak. It's called Preference Organizer, and it organizes your settings into 4 different sections, 1 being Apple Apps, 2 being Social, 3 being Cydia, and 4 being App Store. Now this is really helpful for your Cydia application since there are many of them for most of you guys. So really simple, really easy. Let's get to the next one. Doing a countdown, it's just in no particular order, but I must mention the fact that at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you the best cydia tweaks. Alright, so let's get to number 2. This one is actually a Clash of Clans hack, and a lot of you guys have been asking about this, and I made another video recently about it, since there was problems over the last one. And of course, you can get this off of the iPhone Legendary repo. My repo space. If you don't know where that is, simply search it in Google. You should find it eventually. It basically keeps alive your clan, so there's no way for anyone to attack it as long as you're connected to the server, and this thing hacks into the server and says that you're connected even though you might be in China. Alright, so the second part is the sandbox attack. That basically means you have unlimited attempts to go and visit someone and attack them or get revenge on them unlimited times. So yeah, you might lose, and then like the 5th time around, you might finally beat them. Pretty awesome. It's called Animer 7, and it messes with 3 different aspects of your thing. I'll only be showing you 1. This is mostly meant for the notification settings, but you might have already seen my video on it, so no point in really going into that. Alright, so basically it allows you to mess with your animation, so I'm going to be showing you 1. This is the switcher slide animation, so I have it slide from bottom. Then switcher zoom animation, I have it zoom in, and I have the fade enabled, and it looks really cool. Sorry if it lags a little bit. Voila. Hopefully you saw most of it. If not, I'll do it one more time. While I'm at it, let me get rid of Cydia. Okay, let's go back and move on to our third application. Now, the third application on the list is actually App Tray, and this is really cool. Basically, inside of your notification center, you have 3 sections, and those are usually Today, All in Mist, and if you're wondering why my notification center looks so freaking weird, well, it's because of another tweak that I'll be reviewing in about 10 seconds. Just launched Instagram, I don't know why, and when I go ahead and enable this, you don't need to respring, you're going to see a 4th section, and I'm going to swipe over, and voila, you have these quick launch icons to go to any application of your choice. As you can see down here, you can actually pick and choose certain applications you want in that little app tray over there, and I don't feel like messing with that, but it's really easy to enable and disable the applications of your choice, and I believe you can have up to 20 applications in that space up there. Tweak that makes your volume button and basically everything else in your device look a certain color instead of the typical blur effect. That's called fancy, and I personally fancy this tweak for all ya French people out there. So as you can see, it's enabled right now, and I have a global tint. The global tint color is up to you. What do you want? Well, you can have the normal green like I'm using right now. Personally, I love the green. Or you might be a more reddish pinkish type of person, so let's go ahead and make it a little reddish pinkish. There you go. Looks pretty awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off for now because apparently it's making my iPhone 4 lag. Okay. Let's go back and go on to our next cydia tweak, and allowing us to just swipe. I don't even know, hold down and just kill all our apps at once. We have to sit there and swipe and swipe and swipe, and it's really annoying. So this guy thought of this amazing tweak, and it is called Swipe to Kill, I believe, and once you do it, basically you swipe down from anywhere, and guess what? It kills all your applications and brings you back to the home screen. So this one is called Sleek Sleep, and I won't really be able to demonstrate it, sadly, but I will tell you exactly what it does. Once you go ahead and enable it, your iPhone has a proximity sensor right on the other side of your camera, and what that does is, due to whatever the heck falls on it, such as light or even an actual shape, you can swipe your palm across the top of your screen, and guess what? Your iPhone will either fall asleep, or depending on what mood you have on, say you turn this on, it will turn back on when you swipe your hand again. That's a cool thing to show friends, and it's one of the things that people want to jailbreak for. Let's go ahead and show that off. It is called Sleek Sleep. Show off, but something that's really, really helpful when you're typing or just want to move around when you're typing. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this on my home screen, but first I'll show you exactly what it's called. It's called Swipe Selection. And from here you have a bunch of options, but I'll show you the main option. So let's go into some random keyboard on my device. There's one. And I'm going to type a bunch of gibberish on here. Voila. And instead of holding down and having to go back to, say, the right after the X but before the P, you don't want to really just, unlike Android, you can't just tap there and it'll go right there. Instead, there's a simpler way of doing it using this tweak. Voila. Just like that, I highlighted everything. There is another thing you can do. Say I put a space. Now I'm simply moving around the thing itself, just simply hovering, or not even hovering, just simply tapping from right across to the left side of my keyboard. Or swiping. Yeah, apparently I can't talk today. Sorry, guys. So there you go. That's a cool little demonstration, so if you ever want to like edit something right smack in the middle of a random word, then that's an easy way to do it. Back in the old days, people used to use this thing called iOS 6. Any of you guys hear of it? Like, I don't know, it's been in history books and stuff. So anyhow, they have this thing called the Classic Switcher, and if you guys like iOS 6, then maybe you'll like this tweak too. I'm just showing it to you guys because I got a lot of feedback, and people really necessarily liked it. And so as you can see here, when I double tap instead of my traditional iOS 7 app switcher, we get back our iOS 6 app switcher. And no, the sad part is you will not get a bunch of toggles or anything amazing on the sides, or even a little mini music player, which would have been nice, but that isn't necessarily the point of this tweak. Of course, they tried to make up for it by allowing you to close all your applications at once. So say I have, I don't know, calculator running. Let's get out of calculator. Double tap, and voila. Instead of having to hold it down and subtract all of them at once, say you have like 60 apps running, you can simply double tap, whoops, swipe to the right, and you'll see a giant X appear. And when the X looks like that, you're not closing anything. When the X looks like that and you let go, I believe it's going to ask you, yep, quit all apps. I'm going to say yes, and it just quit everything. So let's go ahead and mess around with some of the applications, or should I say, some of the settings of this application. I really consider it a cydia tweak if it doesn't have a few tips and tricks up its sleeve, right? I don't think I said that in the right order, but whatever. So once in settings, you can enable it, and of course, here's a fun little thing. Instead of having the traditional 1 row that you just saw, you can add up to 3, so that's a fun thing. If you don't want 3 because it looks a little weird because it comes up to here, then of course you can downgrade it to 2 or even 1. Or, better yet, only as many as needed, which I have enabled. Then if you want the quit all apps section enabled, the thing I just showed you when you swipe to the right, then of course you can enable or disable that depending on what you want. And finally, always editing. I guess that can be fun, but if you're a multitasker, you probably don't want that. That is self-explanatory. Now, there are a few other things, such as animation and overlay style. I did show you guys that in my full review, so if you want to go see all that, you can either go check out the full review, or you can wait until this video is finished and go get this tweak and mess around with all that on your own. For now, let's move on to our next tweak, because I spent way too long on this one. Cool little cydia tweak. It's called Messages Customizer, and basically it allows you to get colorful with your Messages application. Now, from here you can mess around with the SMS bubbles, iMessage bubbles, other person's bubbles, app tint, background, and even info text. There's a bunch of other things, but for now I'll just give you a little snippet of what this tweak can do. So let's go into, say, I like iMessage better. Screw SMS. Alright, gradient. And then we're going to do bubble opacity. And bubble color, we'll do that. That looks like a pretty nice color, right? And we'll do that for that one. That doesn't look like a nice color, but I personally don't care. I sound like such a mean person right now. And let's go back and go into my Messages application. So here's a random conversation, and as you can see, my Messages bubbles do look a little different. They're purple down here, the font color is brown, and they're blue up here, and that does change nice and smoothly as you go. There are a variety of things you can do with this tweak. You can change everything from this guy's bubbles to the background itself to the little messages thing up there, everything, but you can go ahead and check that out on your own. Right here is called Convergence. Cool name, right? I did a full review on this a few days ago, and as you can see, basically it allows you to, well, let me show you there you go. It takes your lock screen and takes it to the next level, as you might say. So I'm going to quickly go over this. I did go over this in my full review, so there's not much point. But here's a little showing off for you guys that are jealous right now. So right here, if I swipe to the left, there is my camera. How easy is that? If I swipe to the right, voila, so many random toggles appear. You can customize this inside of settings, and my clock does get smaller, along with a little tiny brightness slider that you can mess around with on your own. The final part of this is, of course, the notification center, which tricked you. It's not really a notification center. It's actually a bunch of widgets that you can mess around with inside of settings. You can have up to 4 widgets, and I'm sure they're going to update it and add more widgets. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. And of course, there's 2 widgets at this moment because that's what I have it set to. And finally, you're probably wondering, how the heck do you unlock the device? Well, you simply swipe up on this thing, and it brings you to your passcode screen. That's going to be it for my video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, leave a like. I worked my butt off making this video. It took a lot of effort. And leave a like. Share it with other people, because I'm sure they want to know about all these Cydia tweaks too. If you enjoyed this video so much that you want to leave me a comment, I always reply. So leave me something funny, like, I don't know, a random joke, or hey, or just a question on some of the Cydia tweaks, like things people usually ask, like, how do you spell that? Anyhow, guys, I'll try to reply to everything. This is going to be me logging off.